Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about having the Sun in Aries and a Pisces Ascendant in a natal chart. Now, for people that have this placement, it's interesting because even though these signs are adjacent, they're almost diametrically opposed or very close to it. And you look at an Aries Sun can be somewhat acerbic, aggressive, have forceful, kind of sometimes domineering personality, and can be very courageous. Now Pisces rising can be more passive and timid, more submissive, not quite as confrontational, can still fight for their beliefs, but in maybe kind of a quieter, subtle way, and much more sensitive than the Sun in Aries. So what is this person has the temperaments of the Sun and of the Sun in Aries and the Pisces rising are so different. I mean, it's not even funny. So what's really happening is that the softer Pisces rising is camouflaging the more, I guess you could say, the more dominant Sun and Aries personality. Uh, what it is when the Sun is about your basic wants, and the rising sign or ascendant can be the manner or the method in which one attains their basic wants. So with Sun and Aries can be about leadership, maybe even attaining like a management executive type position, reaching the pinnacle of something, even about getting attention and notoriety. And with Pisces rising, this could be done in a more passive way, and in a way where they're not necessarily overly forceful, and in a manner which is softer than in most cases. Now, it could be possible that considering with Pisces rising, maybe the person attempts to attain some kind of recognition or notoriety, perhaps through some Pisces-like things, perhaps something with photography, filmography, special effects, illusion, working as an illusionist magician, chemistry, something where they can use their pioneering Aries Sun and use and perhaps Pisces rising interests could very well amalgamate with this combination. Now, the thing to be careful though is that Pisces rising can be very idealistic and sometimes can be borderline unrealistic. So as far as the Pisces rising dreams, they need to make sure that their realistic goals for perhaps attaining the Aries basic wants is set as far as being realistic. It's okay to be idealistic, but not necessarily unrealistic. Now, a lot of this depends on aspects too and how this would blend. Now, if somebody has, I'll give an example. If you have an early Aries Sun, say 2 degrees, in a late Pisces Ascendant, say 29 degrees, well, you would have a conjunction, and you might see a lot of intensity in merging with these two personality. The Sun and the Ascendant could merge very strongly together. You could have some other positive blends as well. Say if you have a semi-sextile aspect, say if the Sun in Aries, for example, is 15 degrees, and if the Pisces Ascendant is 15 degrees, you'd have a 30-degree disparity, making a semi-sextile, and that could be auspicious, but not as much as as an actual major aspect sextile. Now, for example, an early Pisces Ascendant, say 1 degree, and let's say hypothetically you have a late Aries Sun at 28 degrees. That would make a sextile aspect, and that would be positive and auspicious, and you can get a good blending with these two. Now, a slightly adverse aspect is the semi-square. Now, this could occur, for example, Pisces Ascendant 15 degrees, Aries Sun 29 degrees, and you could have a semi-square, and that could be adverse, but not as much as a square. And when you have an adverse aspect, there can be some feelings of being misconstrued or misunderstood, because you're having an understanding that your image that you're projecting outwardly, your outward demeanor, might be strongly different than your inner self, which is indicated by the sun sign. Now, a lot can depend on the placement of the sun in the natal chart. Now, let's say you have Pisces rising and your sun is in Aries in the first house. Now, the Aries sun may come out more strongly and figure more prominently because it's in the first house of the outer personality. Now, however, if it was, let's say somebody, for example, had a late Pisces rising and had Taurus on the cusp of the second, and they'd had their sun in Aries in the first house, it would be intercepted. Well, those energies, even though you'd have the sun in the first house, and it could indicate that this person may be very attention seeking, it might be a little bit harder to tap into that energy if it's intercepted. Now, let's say, because it may be suppressed to some degree. Now, we'll take another example. Let's say somebody has Pisces rising and they have their sun in Aries in the second house. Well, those assertive, aggressive Aries energies may come out more prominently in matters connected with their resources, their possessions, and in the way in which they're generating income and things of a monetary nature. So that's where you would see the Aries aggressive energies figure strongly and more prominently. So really, that's basically what I wanted to get at as far as having a sun in Aries and a Pisces ascendant. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for having the sun in Aries and having a Pisces ascendant in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person astrologically speaking based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. By the way, people, I didn't say it earlier, but the next video will be obviously the sun in Taurus and having an Aries ascendant in a natal chart. And people, until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.